Oh, my friends, what an exciting day. Finally, you are going to get to glaze your projects. You will see that each table has different color glazes on it. And when I say glaze, these are what you might call paints, but they're not, that are always in this cupboard. And they're ones that work on bisque. Now, on the very left here is a little figurine that's bisque. And then you're going to be putting the glaze on it. So right there you can see that someone put glaze on the bisque. At this point it would go into the kiln. Your projects are going to go into the kiln when you're finished with them, where the colors will become more vibrant, the glass is going to melt all over the project, and it's going to be amazing. Every table, like I said, has a different color family, and there are pictures of what the color will look like after it's fired. It's pretty much, if you look at the color of the glaze, it pretty much, you can tell what it's going to end up looking like. And like I said, the glass on there is going to melt on there, and it's going to be nice and shiny. Now this happens to be the piece of bisque, one of them that I made. It's been in the kiln. It will never go back to mud. And now I have to think back to my original inspiration and decide what is the base color that I need to put all over my project, and then the colors that I'm going to add for details. When you look at the monkey here that I had made, it started off with clay, then I put in the kiln and it was white, then I glazed it. But the first step in glazing is wash. Now what I mean by that is that you're going to be making a liquid, a base color. You're going to put it on the inside, on the back, on the front. You're going to get that thing completely covered in one color, just like you are in the wash. You're all in the water. Next, details. Details are going to be much slower. You're going to be using not a watered down version. And after that is in the kiln, it's not going to be light. It's going to be nice and vibrant, like that red there. These steps are very important. The first step is wash. You will put it everywhere on your project. And I'm going to show you now how to make your wash. We will have given you a cup with water, and the color that you want as your base color, you're going to do 1, 2, and then 3 scoops of glaze. When you're finished with that, you're going to take the big brush, use the biggest brush available, and you're going to mix that up. You're going to notice right away that it is a very sad blah version of the color you wanted to use. But you're going to start with the inside. Some of you are going to like it, and some of you are going to say, I want it to be a little more intense. Notice the brush must be wet. If I want it more intense, I just put it into the glaze to grab some more. The reason I'm going to insist that you get into every nook and cranny is that if you don't, then it ends up like this, where there's a lot of white showing and the color doesn't get everywhere, and it just looks, I don't know, I just think it looks sad. I don't want that for you. So that's why we start with the wash. You will, when it dries out, you can grab more color, you can add more water, and if you end up using all the water in your little dish, there will be water in the middle of the table for you to use as well. Use the big brush. It's gonna feel slow because you're going over the whole thing. But trust me, you're gonna be so happy that you don't have these yucky white spots. So you're gonna go over the whole thing, top, bottom, inside, and get it covered. Now, if you're saying, but I want my lips to be red, well, guess what? That's why you're going to love the next step. After you clean your brush, you're gonna be moving on to the details. Now the details are completely the opposite from the wash. This time you're using a small brush. You're also way more slowed down when you're applying the glaze. Before I was just slopping it on. With details, you're using a dry brush. I mean, it's not completely dry, but we want it to be dry-ish so that it doesn't leak and glob all over the place. I'm also being very slow. Oh, you want to keep it under control. So if you want grass on yours, great, but you don't want the green to go up onto your the body of your creature. Here, once again, you see me putting the detail brush. I pick up a little bit of paint. I put it right where I want it. You could even go back over it and do a few coats so that when it's finished, it is going to be brilliant red. Here, I'm putting a little pink into the cheeks. When you're finished, you're going to find me over here in this zone, sitting in that blue chair. You're going to bring a project to me without eyeballs. This is the worst. When people try to do it with a big brush and put the black on there, it ends up awful. So just bring me your project, and I'm going to carefully put 2 little black dots into your eyeballs so it looks great. When you come over to me and want to check out, please don't bump my little zone there because I don't want everyone's eyeballs to get smeared. At the end, you're going to say to Miss Lauren, how can I help clean up? And she will let you know how. Remember our steps. The first is going to be doing the wash. The second step is to do the details with a dry brush. And at the very end, bring your project to me for eyeballs, but please don't bump my table. Have fun.